For the past 5 years, I have been sticking tiny needles in my face to get glowing skin. Today we're talking about manual dermastamping at home, a subtype of microneedling that I really love and I want to share with you guys. It's accessible, relatively affordable, and not as difficult as you might think. So if you would like to get glowing skin at home, then keep watching. This video is sponsored by LMNT. Hey guys, it's Robin and welcome to the Science of Self-Care, where we fall in love with the practice of taking care of ourselves so we can live better longer. I have told so many friends about manual microneedling, dermastamping. I've even gifted some of my friends dermastamps, but I noticed that they're very hesitant to use them, and I think it's because it's quite intimidating to prick yourself with a bunch of needles. Are you doing it right? Are you doing it wrong? Is it gonna hurt? Is it safe? So in this video, I really want to outline, firstly, what I've learned over 5 years of doing this. Secondly, what the science says. Is this something that is effective? And lastly, we're going to do a quick tutorial of the exact routine I follow once a month so that it's very clear how you would use one of these in case you do want to try it yourself. Please note that I'm not a dermatologist. This is not medical advice. I'm sharing my personal learnings and experiences and the research that I've found. I will list a number of YouTube videos on this topic by dermatologists below. For example, Dr. Rajani, love his channel. He's made several videos on microneedling and derma rolling at home. Highly recommend checking those out. So dermastamping is a type of microneedling, which is also called percutaneous collagen induction, which is basically just putting tiny little needles into our skin to stimulate collagen production. And some people also do this to create infusion channels that allows skincare products or topical products to go deeper into our skin. Personally, that's not a goal for me. I have very sensitive skin, so when I do any sort of dermastamping, it's mainly with the goal to stimulate collagen production, and I actually avoid putting a lot of active or exotic skincare products on my skin. I keep my skincare super simple for the 24 hours after dermastamping. The reason I focus on dermastamping over derma rolling is because a stamp goes in and out of the skin directly, where a roller rolls over the skin. Pretty obvious, but that also changes the type of holes that it creates. Because the stamp is going in and out very cleanly, it creates more clean channels, and that's a little bit easier for our body to heal and less likely to form scar tissue, whereas a roller actually creates a little bit of a V type hole because it's rolling in and out. Most people will not have issues with this, but I personally just want to keep the hole as clean as possible so that it's easy for my body to heal well and not potentially cause scar tissue. I will say I have used many derma rollers in the past and they've never given me any issues. There are also plenty of well-known dermatologists who use derma rollers in their practice, like Dr. Diamond of Beverly Hills, and there are many positive studies on derma rollers, so they're not inherently bad, especially at shallow lengths like 0.2 and 0.5 millimeters that you might use at home. But I just personally love the simplicity of doing stamping and that it ensures the punctures are as straight as possible at a 90-degree angle. Now, with any device that you use at home, it is crucial that your needles are high quality, super sharp, and straight, and that they're not irregular, they're not dull, and they're not made of poor materials. You want to look for real, ultra sharp, ultra straight, and ultra thin needles made preferably of gold-plated titanium. Titanium is super strong and ensures the needles stay straight and last longer, and the outer layer of gold gives a hygienic antimicrobial layer to the needles. That is why I love this banisher. Not sponsored by Banish, but if this banisher I'm using in this video is outside of your budget, I would look for a derma roller that has a clear body and a bluish roller. I have used many of these and they were all great. I am sort of assuming that they're drop shipped and coming from similar sources, so that's why I have gone for ones that have this look in the past. Either way, it's important to replace your needles often because the needles will dull and damage over time. I have incredibly thin skin, so I can get away with using the same needles maybe a little bit more often. I usually replace my needles every 8 times. I like that Banish allows you to just replace the needle heads, whereas other cheaper options may require you to replace the entire device. So why am I actually obsessed with dermastamping at home? Not everyone can afford to get fancy skincare treatments in clinic, and a lot of skincare products that were sold as consumers don't necessarily have a lot of clinical evidence behind them, but there is clinical evidence behind dermastamping, microneedling, manual derma rolling. All of these things are actual ways to stimulate our collagen production, which naturally declines as we age. There is quite a bit of research on how manual microneedling can help atrophic acne scars, but even if you don't struggle with atrophic acne scars, nearly everyone can benefit from some level of extra collagen production. And the lengths of at-home devices like the 0.5mm needles that I've been using are not going to deliver the same collagen induction results that so many clinical studies show, because usually they're using needles at 1.5mm length. So the clinical evidence on short needle length is somewhat sparse, but I can personally attest to improvements in my own skin texture, fine lines, and skin brightness, whether this is from collagen production or from an increased blood flow to that area of the skin is not entirely clear. My guess is that it's a little bit of both. I used to actually have quite a bit of acne around my chin, which caused irregular texture and some indents. So that is completely gone now, probably due to several different things that I do, but dermastamping has definitely played a role. In addition to our skincare routine, what we put in our bodies is also extremely important for the health of our skin. That means eating high quality foods and also staying well hydrated. My personal favorite way to keep my body super well hydrated is using LMNT electrolytes. I've been using LMNT for 2 years, and I am so excited because they just came out with a slim can sparkling drink, which is my obsession. These are so incredibly good. It's kind of like drinking a healthy, slightly salty soda. It only has 5 calories, sweetened with stevia, super simple ingredients, the sodium and the potassium and the magnesium at the ratios that I prefer. There is a lot of research that goes into their formula, which you can see on their website. And I love these slim cans because it's the equivalent of drinking half of a package of their normal electrolyte packets. So it's just a little bit of extra electrolyte hydration. And these have honestly saved me during pregnancy because I sometimes get headaches or feel a little bit lightheaded or have muscle cramps due to dehydration. I drink one of these and it completely puts all those symptoms at bay. But even if you are not pregnant, if you are someone who does a lot of sweaty, intense workouts, it is very important to replenish your electrolyte supply. All this to say, I am a true LMNT fangirl. My husband also loves these electrolytes. He takes them every single time he saunas. So if you are someone who's looking for a way to deeply hydrate your body, especially if you do a lot of sweaty, intense workouts, or you happen to be pregnant like I am, I can highly recommend LMNT electrolytes. Right now, you can get a free sample pack of LMNT's most popular flavors with any order if you shop through this link, drinklmnt.com/self-care, or use this QR code here on screen. Thank you, LMNT, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to our skin. Next up, my dermastamping routine. Normally I would do this at night when it's dark and I'm sleepy, but I figured I should do this in brighter daylight and show you my whole routine while I'm not half asleep. So we're gonna do my forehead and then I'll do the rest of my face this evening. Essentially, you wanna make sure that your face is super duper clean. First off, I like to double cleanse, especially if I have been wearing makeup that day. I will first use a cleansing balm and then use this gentle Cetaphil cleanser, but just make sure your skin is squeaky clean before you start poking needles into it. You want to also prepare your materials. So for this, I am using a Banisher. This is not sponsored by Banish. I just genuinely love this Dermastamp. I love this product because the needles are very high quality. It's super reliable, it's easy to clean, and how they recommend you use it is you first fill up the cap with 70% alcohol. 70% works actually better than 90, 99, 91%. So you fill it up to the line and then you let your Dermastamp sit in the alcohol for about 5 minutes to just completely disinfect. After that, you're going to take it out of its alcohol bath, dump out that alcohol, and just let the Dermastamp air dry for 1 to 2 minutes. Let all that alcohol evaporate so that you have a dry Dermastamp that's been disinfected, ready for your skin. I generally like to go in a little bit of a grid pattern. So first I'll go up and down and just stamp evenly across my whole forehead in this case. And then after I've done one pass from up to down, I go from side to side. I do think that using a Dermastamp over a derma roller makes it a little bit easier to keep track of where you've been and have kind of an even distribution of punctures. During this process, sometimes my eyes water a little bit. I wouldn't say that it hurts, but it's maybe a little bit spicy, not very much. And the good thing about manual dermastamping is you are in complete control. So if at some point you don't feel great, you can just pause, take a breath, but I personally don't find it painful. So I just do this grid pattern on the area that I'm covering. Then I will quickly spray my Dermastamp. So I just momentarily disinfect it and put the cap on and put it aside and take care of my freshly stamped skin. So the first thing I do is to spray my skin with hypochlorous acid. This is extremely calming, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and it does not sting my skin at all. So I have been putting one of 3 different very calming things on my skin. 2 of these are extremely expensive. This Elastin Skin Nectar is specifically made for healing post-procedure skin. It never stings my skin. I do enjoy it, but it is very pricey, so I don't think I would repurchase it. This Neogenesis Human Growth Factor Serum is also very pricey. Growth factors are incredible at wound healing. There's lots of research on this, so this is another thing that I might put on freshly dermastamped skin. But if you are balling on a budget, the one thing I would just put to help hydrate the skin is pure vegetable glycerin. I just ran out of my vegetable glycerin, but I'll insert a little photo here. This is super affordable. It's single ingredient. It's not going to irritate even very sensitive skin. So I always feel really good putting this glycerin on my freshly dermastamped skin. So we are keeping skincare extremely simple. After this, you just want to lock in all those ingredients. You can use a simple fragrance-free moisturizer, but even some moisturizers can irritate sensitive skin. But if you want to be extremely simple and sensitive skin safe, you can even go straight to the last step, which is my favorite step, using a zinc oxide fragrance-free diaper cream. This is my favorite thing to make masks with. I do zinc face basting every night, but especially after I have just made tiny little puncture wounds in my skin, zinc is the most soothing thing. It really helps heal the skin. It's antimicrobial, very calming. So I have this European one that I got from the Netherlands, as well as this one that you can get in the United States, triple paste. I like to mix these 2 together because I actually prefer them together versus either of them on their own, but you really don't need 2 zinc creams. Either of these will work. Any zinc cream that has minimal ingredients, is fragrance free, will really work for this. As I've been doing dermastamping for so many years, I think a key for me is just only putting on skincare ingredients that do not sting my skin. So all of these ingredients that I show here do not burn my skin at all. It feels super calming and it helps my skin heal very quickly. So now I have this crazy zinc oxide paste on my face, and this is how I would normally go to bed, with it all over my face. I will just keep this on for the day and then tonight I will do the rest of my face. But as a rule of thumb, the following day I will also not really wear makeup. I'll do very simple skincare and sunscreen. After that 24-hour period, I feel pretty confident going back to my normal skincare routine, wearing light makeup. So I am such a big fan, and I hope this simple tutorial made it feel a little bit more accessible. Again, you don't need to use this specific Banish product. I think they've done a good job of having clear instructions, making it very safe to do this at home. They also have different needle heads that you can attach to your Banisher. I've been using the 0.5 millimeter, but there's also a 0.25 and a 1 millimeter. This 1 millimeter is something I will probably use on my pregnant belly after I give birth, just to help tighten everything up again. As you can see, here's a little intermission of my belly currently. It is getting bigger. So I'll probably use that 1 millimeter needle on my belly after birth. Quick side note, if you are pregnant, talk to your own doctor about this at-home skin treatment. Some people consider this a bad idea while pregnant out of an abundance of caution. Looking at the mechanisms of action, considering my short needle length, and also talking to my own doctor, I feel very good continuing this practice while pregnant, especially since other topical options like tretinoin are not available to pregnant women. All in all, doing this for 5 years, I just personally noticed that my skin is a lot brighter, plumper, and more vibrant. So I naturally sort of have a cadence of doing it once a month because it is enough time for my skin to properly heal. But I also, after about a month, noticed, my skin is a little dull and crepey. Let's do a quick session, and then boom, there's some renewed radiance. So for me, it's absolutely worth it. It's accessible, affordable. It's also easy and not too time consuming. I know there are so many devices out there that cost a lot of time and energy. This is about 10 to 15 minutes of my evening routine once a month. That's it. It's super accessible. So I can't stop raving about it. I hope this video encourages a few of my friends to try it because I've been telling people about it and I think people are just nervous. It does seem very intimidating to poke a bunch of needles in your face, but I promise if I can do it, most people can do it. I would love to hear from you guys. Have you done manual dermastamping, microneedling in a clinic? Have you done derma rolling? Please share your experiences down below. I'm only one person. I can share my thoughts and my experiences and my research, but these videos are so much more valuable when the comment section becomes a gem of crowdsourced wisdom. So I would love to hear from you. I learned so much from you guys, and I know you guys learn a lot from each other. I also want to mention that if you enjoy this type of content and this type of community, I have recently started a Patreon, which I will link down below, where we have different group chats on all sorts of topics, one of them being skincare, but also where we do a monthly live coaching session to cover the more behavioral health aspects of taking care of ourselves, as well as a monthly book club live stream. So if that sounds interesting, check it out. I'll leave the link. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.